West is the dealer on this one, and everybody is vulnerable. Let's have a look what West has got. Okay, so a pretty interesting 8 points, as much as 8 points can be interesting. They've got a 5-4-3-1 shape, so unbalanced. Unfortunately, nothing really for West to do as the dealer here. They can't open 2 spades, that would be a weak 2, unless you played some kind of special 2-level openers, like Lucas 2s or something like that. They can't open 1 something, because they're not strong enough. So whilst this hand may well be bidding as an overcaller or as a responder, for now we shouldn't open the bidding. We haven't got a weak style hand and we can't open at the 1 level, so it's a straightforward pass for now. Okay, now to North, see if they've got an opening bid of some description. North has got 2, 4, 8, 10 points in total, a completely flat 10. So unfortunately for North, there's nothing to open either. They can't open a weak 2, weak 3, they can't open 1 something because that would show 12 points. They don't meet the rule of 20. Absolutely nothing to do here, so quite a similar story to West. Might respond something with this hand or might support our partner, but definitely not right to open the bidding, so correct for North to pass as well. Okay, now around to East. Okay, and East has got an opening hand. They've got 9, 10, 13, 14 points in total, and a balanced 14. Depends on how you deal with balanced hands with 14 points. Depends on your system. 12 to 14 you would open 1 no trump in ACOL. 12 to 14 in other systems you might open 1 of a suit and then bid 1 no trump. Depends if you're playing weak no trump or strong no trump. I'm going to suggest here, just because it's efficient with this number of points, I'm going to suggest we're playing ACOL. So we open 1 no trump with 12 to 14 points unbalanced, which is what this is. If we weren't playing ACOL and 1 no trump promised 15 to 17, i.e. a strong no trump, we would have to open 1 of a suit first and then bid no trumps, probably 1 club, then 1 no trump. In this instance, because we're playing ACOL, I'm going to open 1 no trump, which says 12 to 14 points and a balanced hand, which is precisely what we have. Alright, now to South, overcalling over 1 no trump. Okay, so South's hand's not brilliant. They've got 8 points, but more importantly, although this is a downside, our points are not in our suit. So we do have a 5-card suit, which is what we require to overcall at the 2 level. But we want a few more points, really. You want at least 10 at the 2 level, really. And we want a good suit. And our points are not in our long suit, they're in our short suit. So we definitely shouldn't be bidding. This is not a good enough hand to overcall 2 diamonds, nowhere near. We want a better point count and we want better diamonds, much better diamonds. If the ace and king were in diamonds, maybe, but even then it would be a stretch. And that, of course, is assuming we aren't playing Multilandi or Astro or Capoletti or all the different kind of overcalling systems over an opponent's 1 no trump. So, not a good enough suit, definitely not right to bid, especially given that we're vulnerable, it's not right to overcall, so it's correct for South to pass. Okay, so back to West, responding to our partner's 1 no trump. That's 12 to 14 because we're playing ACOL. So the important things about responding to 1 no trump are, can we play in a major, can we play in game? Those are the 2 questions you should be asking yourself. In this instance, we shouldn't be able to make game because we've got 8 points opposite 12 to 14, never will be 25, never will be near 25. So we're not going to play in game, but we do want to play in a major. With a 5-card major or longer in response to a 1 no trump, or indeed a 2 no trump opener, you should employ a red suit transfer. So what we want to do here is bid 2 hearts. Our partner will recognise that as a red suit transfer and bid 2 spades, as instructed. And then we decide whether to bid on. If we bid on after a red suit transfer, it's because we have some interest in game. In this instance, we don't have any interest in game. So what we're going to do here is transfer and pass, which is known as a weak takeout. You're taking them out of 1 no trump into your suit, and you're weak because you are passing with your second bid. So I'm going to bid 2 hearts, which instructs our partners to bid 2 spades, i.e. red suit transfer, and then when they bid 2 spades, I'm going to pass in order to say I'm not strong enough to bid game, but we should have spades as trumps. With 5 or more of a major, you want them as trumps. The minimum your partner will have is 2, very frequently they'll have 3 or more, so it represents a percentage play to play in 2 of a major instead of 1 no trump, which is why red suit transfers, you need 5 cards in a suit, in a major that is. You don't need any points to do a transfer. Even if we had 0 points, it's right to do a transfer with a 5-card major. So even if I had no points at all, if I had 5 spades, I would be choosing to play in spades instead of no trumps, because spades represents a better chance than no trumps. So this is a classic transfer and pass hand. So for now, I'm going to do a red suit transfer. When our partner was 2 spades, we will pass. Yep. Okay, back to the 1 no trumper. And I'm sure they're very relieved to not be left in 1 no trump, especially in Ackle with a 12 to 14 opening of 1 no trump. It's a classic nightmare scenario when it goes 1 no trump, pass, pass, pass. So with a transfer, you're very pleased to be out of 1 no trump and into a major suit, especially because we have 3 spades for our partner's known 5 or more. So we know we have a spade fit. So this is a really good, attractive prospect to East. And they're pleased, basically, to have avoided 1 no trump. However, whether they were pleased or not, they have to do as they're told. A red suit transfer says bid spades, so you bid spades. Now there are very fringe cases, maybe 5% or fewer, where you might break a transfer or bounce a transfer. To do that, you would want a 4-card fit as a minimum for our partner's suit. So to break or bounce, we would want at least 4 cards in their known suit, spades. In this instance, we don't have 4-card spade fit, so we just do as we're told, and we bid 2 spades. North-South haven't unfortunately got hands that can compete over this, but even if they had, we would be completing the transfer unless they were to bid 3 somethings, then we would have a different question. Because this is uncontested, we haven't got a break or a bounce available, we just do as we're told. So the clear-cut bid here is to complete the transfer and bid 2 spades. Alright, so everybody passed 2 spades out, and now it's to South as to what they're going to lead against 2 spades. A transfer and pass sequence is something very common. It means dummy isn't strong enough to look for game, but they've got a 5-card major. So what do we want to lead? Well, the way I often think about leading is, what do I not want to lead? So what do I not want to breach? So we don't want to play trumps because we've got king doubleton. That could easily cost us a trick. And we don't want to play hearts because we've got ace doubleton, and that we might have to play our ace on fresh air. So the hearts and the spades would not be a suit I'm leading. So we would either lead a low club, which suggests we have an honour in clubs, the jack, or we would lead a medium-ish diamond saying, I don't like diamonds, but I'm leading diamonds because I don't know what else to do, something like the 8 or the 5 of diamonds. I'm not particularly attracted to any lead, if I'm honest. I just would definitely not lead a spade or a heart. So I'm going to lead a low club, low from an honour, but you could equally lead a diamond of some description as a guess as to what to play. Neither really stands out to me as solid, but a club is fractionally better because you might be able to build a club trick if your partner has something useful in clubs. So I'm going to say low from an honour, low from the jack. I would equally be fine with the diamond lead, just not a heart or a spade basically. But I'm going to opt for a low club. Okay, so down goes the dummy. Okay, so in a transfer sequence, the thing that's unusual is that the trump suit is longer on the table. So whenever you're in a trump contract, the usual best procedure is to try and set the hand up with the long trumps, i.e. you look at the hand with long trumps, losers, and you try to diminish those losers by doing finesses, trumping them, etc. In this instance, the long trump holding is in the dummy, not in our hands. So this is something known as a dummy reversal because the dummy is reversed to what is normal. So when you try and set the dummy up as the master hand, it's because the dummy is longer in trumps. So it's easier to deal with losers here than it is losers here. You choose which hand to try and establish. Usually your own hand, because normally you have more trumps, but in this instance the dummy has longer trumps, so we're going to try and set the dummy hand up instead. So looking at the dummy's possible losers, we have 1 or 2 spades, depending on the king and queen location. We're going to try a finesse or 2 in that suit, come back to that in a second. 1 or 2 hearts, depends on the ace and queen location. Ace and queen here we're happy, ace and queen here we're not so happy. No clubs, we've got 1 club and we've got ace, king, queen in hand, so we've got overhanging clubs here. 1 or 2 diamonds, depends on the ace and queen of diamonds location. So this is a very conditional hand. Who's got the king, queen of spades? Who's got the ace, queen of hearts? Who's got the ace, queen of diamonds? All of those things are going to factor as to how many tricks we make. We could go lots off here if we lose hearts because the ace-queen is wrong, spades because the king-queen is wrong, diamonds because the ace-queen is wrong. It could go all wrong, but hopefully some of that won't go disastrously wrong. So we'll try a finesse or 2 in spades, hoping to trap a spade on her. We'll try a finesse or 2 in hearts and diamonds, hoping to trap the queen of hearts or the queen of diamonds, or indeed the aces there. So what can we do in order to facilitate reducing losers on the dummy? Well, one we've just alluded to, finessing. Try finesse in spades, finesse in hearts, finesse in diamonds, etc. The second thing is we could discard losers on these overhanging clubs. So we've got ace, king, queen of clubs here. We'll play the ace on this one. The king and queen, we can throw losers away. So my instinct is to throw diamonds away on those clubs so that we reduce the number of diamonds we're going to lose. Because we've got 4 small diamonds there, we might lose lots of diamond tricks if we're not careful. We could clear the diamonds in hand and try and ruff them in our hand, but because we have 4 and 2, as in 6 diamonds between the 2 hands, by the time we're ruffing the 3rd and 4th rounds, it becomes risky that we might get over-ruffed. So actually, it's probably correct to discard diamonds on the clubs and then rely on the hearts not being ace and queen on the right. So we need some good fortune in the heart finesse position, some good fortune in the spade finesse position, and we're going to discard some of the diamond losers. So it's going to be a combination of 3 different things. As for this opening club, we're going to play the 9, obviously, because it's singleton. We're going to cash the club, win a couple of clubs, then try a spade finesse, throwing the diamonds on the clubs in the process. So for now, 9 clubs. Okay, so North is playing on this club. It's gone club 9. North should play the 10. They should not let us win the 9 of clubs. They have to cover, even though the 10 only just better than the 9. At least it forces us to play something big. So we win the first club. Now, just before we try this spade finesse, double finesse situation, hoping for the king or queen of spades here, lead the jack, lead the 10 kind of thing, we need to cash our clubs quickly to get rid of those diamond losers. This could go wrong if the clubs break badly, but that would be very unlucky. Club 7-1 or something like that. So, king of clubs, very, very likely that we get away with these clubs because the clubs won't be breaking 7-1 or 6-2 very often. So we've got rid of one of those diamond losers. And as I mentioned earlier, we're setting the dummy up, so we're trying to reduce dummy's losers. Queen of clubs, getting rid of another diamond. And indeed, the clubs don't break nasty, so we get away with cashing ace, king, queen of clubs. The reason I'm doing that now is there's no obvious way back to our hand in order to cash them. We might never get back to our hand, depending on the location of the diamonds and the spades. Now, I would not play a club and ruff it. Why? Because we will be ruffing in the long holding and not reducing losers there. Ruffing a club does not make dummy's hand better. It makes declarer's hand better. And we're not trying to set this hand up. We're trying to set this hand up. So by ruffing a club, we are not reducing losers on the dummy. So what we should do now, draw the trumps. And we want to try a double finesse. Lead the jack, lead the 10 in a hope that we trap something with south underneath the ace. Playing low to the ace only works if it's a singleton or doubleton honour, which is worse odds than a double finesse. So I'm going to lead the jack. Equally, the 10 would also be fine. It goes jack. If the king is played, we kill it with the ace, and then we play the 10 and the 9 flushing out the queen. We only lose 1. If the king is not played, we run the jack round and hope that if we lose, the second finesse will work. Let's say they play low. If they play the king, it's easy for us. So they play low. We play low also, trying the double finesse. And North wins the queen. So that's one of the 2 finesses failed. Our hope is that the king is with South, so that the second round of that finesse works. Now, what should North do next? Well, North doesn't really want to tackle diamonds, because they've got ace-queen doubleton. They don't really want to play diamonds, revealing the diamonds for us. They don't really want to play hearts, because it's king-jack-x of hearts, and playing a low heart could give a heart trick or 2 away. They don't really want to play a club because we're ruffing in the dummy, and they don't really want to play a spade because that takes a finesse for us. So North has to help us, and they don't want to. The best bet is to play a club and force a ruff on the table. Now, this is something a defender will commonly not do because it's usually right not to lead to voids on the dummy, but because this hand is dummy reversed, we will be forcing a ruff in the long holding. This is a safe endeavour. So I would play a club, forcing the ruff on the table in order to not give anything away. It could give something away if there's an extra club here, so we're ruffing here and discarding there, but I don't want to breach the diamonds or the hearts. You could equally play a spade in the hope that doesn't give anything away, but I'm playing a club, forcing the ruff on the table. So it goes club, 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 and we ruff. Now we need to get to our hand in order to try the second round of spade finesses. Yes, I can see that the king would drop. So if I just blindly cash the ace of spades, I would get very lucky that the king would drop and the 9 would then draw the remainder of the suit. But I wouldn't know that. So what I would now try and do is get the lead to my hand, and the best way we've got is a diamond towards our hand. We don't know the diamond position, but that's a chance of getting the lead here. I would much, much prefer ace X rather than king jack, because ace X is a certain entry, king jack is not, depending on the location of the cards. So it goes low diamond, and as it happens, we get very lucky because the ace and queen of diamonds are here. So North can't really stop us from getting to our hand. They could play the queen, we win the king. They could play the ace and we play low and win the king on the next round. They can't really win. So their best bet is play the ace. Although second hand high is not usually recommended. They've got no choice here because of the lucky diamond layout. Like so. We're very pleased with the location of the ace of diamonds because it means the king is going to be an entry. And then they exit the queen of diamonds, giving the lead back. Again, not breaching hearts and spades, trying not to help us. Okay, so we win the king of diamonds. And that now gives us the lead in hand. And now we have a problem because we want to play hearts from our hand and we want to play spades from our hand, and we have only one opportunity to continue leading from our hand. So what we would do here is we will play a low spade towards the table, hoping to finesse, and maybe the ten of spades is an entry depending on the layout. What we want to do is finesse in spades but also finesse in hearts, and we're in our hand potentially for the last time. So low spade, the king appears, which is very friendly because it means the finesse worked, and also the king has dropped. So now we've drawn all of the trumps but one, and now we can try, by playing a spade back towards the 10, we can try a heart finesse. This hand's going to discard a diamond, which is useless. So we've drawn the last trump, and now we're in hand for the final time. So now we play a heart. This hand should play low, thus not giving the guess away. We can see that the king would win because the ace is here. The jack would lose because the queen is here. But we wouldn't know that. So I'm going to say we get this guess wrong, only to be fair that I'm trying not to use the information I shouldn't have, which is that I can see the defender's cards. This is a pure guess. King could be right, jack could be right. Only card that isn't right is low. So I'm going to say the jack is, strictly speaking, the correct card because the finesse of the queen is slightly better when you're missing the ace because the ace might drop on the next round. So we try the jack, that loses to the queen, another finesse that lost, hey ho. So we've got a bit unlucky but a bit lucky. We got lucky in the diamonds, unlucky in the hearts, so it's a bit of a trade-off really. So now this hand has to, because of the position of the 10 of hearts having appeared, we're going to lose the ace but we're not going to lose the next heart. So it doesn't matter what this hand plays next, we're going to lose a heart, and that's that. So they play a heart to the ace, which solves our heart guess, like so. So we've now lost 4 tricks in total. We lost a spade, which we were certain to lose, we lost a diamond, which we were certain to lose, and we've lost 2 hearts because the hearts were the wrong way around. So we got a bit of lucky in diamonds, spades went well, diamonds went well. So in total we've lost 4 tricks, but now the dummy is high. Whatever they play, we can either win a heart and win a spade, or ruff whatever they play and win the heart on the last round. So in total we make 9 tricks plus 1. Bit of good luck in the red suits, sorry, a bit of good luck in the trumps and the diamonds, not so good luck in the hearts. So we make plus 1 as a reasonable endeavour.